It is time for another seasonal What'll I be watching? Oh man, that was awful, but I'm gonna stick with it. So as you can already see, I have light chart on the screen with me, and you can already see that I'm skipping a lot of series right off the bat. But it makes sense for me. Sword Art Online, don't really care. Kyuudou-bu, haven't seen the second season or the third season, so I wouldn't really want to watch Kyuudou-bu second season. Goblin Slayer, this seems actually somewhat interesting because it's so high up on popularity. I'm guessing that's a lot of, a lot of hype from the people who read the light novel, and it just seems like an interesting fantasy action series, so maybe it'll be really good. I'll give it at least maybe one episode. Fairy Tail, like this is a super maybe if I continue watching it, because I've been with Fairy Tail for so long now, but I feel so tired of Fairy Tail. This one's the third season of a series, so I can't really watch it because I haven't seen the first two seasons. This just seems like a stupid basic isekai, so I don't care. This is so this one is Shenshihun Bunta Yaru wa Bunny Girl Senpai no Yume wo Miyai, and that is a long title, and it's basically, as you can see, is a romance comedy and a school series. But this basic story is guy from school meets a bunny girl who is, I believe, also a actress, and it's gonna be a funny story, and he's gonna learn to love her or something like that. I don't like the synopsis is very interesting, but I mean, I think this is gonna be funny to watch, or maybe like a decent romance. I mean, I'm just a sucker for romance, so this is why it's on a maybe side. This one is literally just Romeo and Juliet, but with high school girls, and the two different names are just called Black Dogs and White Cats. So yeah, I mean, based off of a manga, so maybe it's gonna be good, I don't know. Next one is Ore ga suki na wa imoto da keto imoto ja nai. So this one is based off of a girl who writes, is it a girl or is it a guy? It's a girl who writes light novels, and so it seems like it might be a funny comedy, but this is a very maybe I'll watch the first episode. It depends on what people are saying throughout the season. This one is the first one that I'm really interested about, which is called Irozuku Shenkai no Ashita Kara. So, set in the city of Nagisa, and the story takes place in a world where minuscule amounts of magic remains in everyday life, which already seems very interesting. Hitomi Tsukishiro is a 17-year-old descendant of a rich family who grew up with stale emotions. As she lost her sense of color at a very young age, feeling sorry for her granddaughter's future, Kinoshita, a great witch, sends Hitomi to the past, the year of 2018. Hey! Their exchanges with her 17-year-old grandmother and her club members, the story follows Hitomi's growth as a person. This already seems interesting because there's magic based in, but it's not like the main thing of it. It's just a thing that will help revolve around this story. And it's an original work, so hopefully they have really good story writing. But I'm just really interested based off of the plot where she goes back in time to meet her teenage grandmother and all this other stuff, but then she learns about herself. So I assume this might be, it seems like a really good drama to me. Second season of Golden Kamuy, of course I'm gonna watch that. Love the first season. Next one is Radiant by Lurch. Action, adventure, fantasy, and magic series based off from a manga. Seth is an appraising sorcerer from the Pampo Hills, already like wizards. He is an infant. He's infected with one of the few living beings who survive the contact of the Nemesis. These creatures fallen from the sky that contaminated and decimated all those that they touched. His apparent immunity made him chosen path. And blah 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 blah. Adventure. You get the idea. So this just seems like a really cool series with the backstory, and I really like the poster art. It seems really fun, seems really nice. I think this is actually gonna be really just a fun watch to have a break every so often. This one just seems like a super generic fantasy series, just based off of the posters. Such generic things, like I don't care. Fully Cooley Alternative. I haven't finished Fully Cooley or watched the second season of Fully Cooley, so can't really watch it. I do plan on binging the whole series of Fooly Cooly because of how people say it's such a masterpiece and all that blah 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 blah. But I will get to it, I just don't want to right now. This one, why did I skip this one? Magic Romance, blah, Izuki, graduation, cousin side with friend, Maru. Oh, this is a harem series, that's why. I should have just read the text. Yeah, I don't want to watch a harem series right now. Next one is Yagate Kimi ni Naru, based on manga school Shoujo Ai. So Yu has always loved shoujo manga and awaits the day he gets involved. He gets a love confession that sends her heart aflutter with bubbles and hearts, and yet when a junior high classmate confesses his feelings to her, she feels nothing. Disappointing and confusing, Yu enters high school with still unsure how to respond. That's when Yu sees the beautiful student council president Nanami turn down a suitor with such maturity that she inspired to ask her to help. But the next person to confess to Yu is Nanami herself, as her shoujo romance finally begin. This already seems interesting. I think it's gonna be actually a nice romance series where it's like a girl finally realizing that she's more into women's or whatever, something like that. But I mean, I didn't like Citrus from 2 seasons ago. Was it 2 seasons ago? But maybe my opinion on this one might turn around because this one seems like a more interesting type of story. I don't know. I mean, 5th season of JoJo, that's like a no-brainer. Everyone's gonna watch JoJo, so yep. Beatless, didn't watch the 1st season of Beatless. I heard it was shit, so I don't know why it's still going on. Next one is Beelzebub Jo no Okini Misu Ma. So comedy, famous, and shonen. So this is a really easy synopsis. Muriel lands in his dream job with the Demon King he always held with, but his tenure begins. It turns into the Demon King isn't quite what he expected. So this seems like it's gonna be really funny comedy where it's like, oh, I'm working for the Demon King, it's gonna be fucking awesome, and then all of a sudden there's like, wait a minute, this isn't as cool as I thought. So yeah. Next one is Tanari no Kyuketsuki-san. Comedy, slice of life, supernatural, and vampire. From a 4-panel manga. So it's modern vampire, centers on high school girls who save them from strange incidents and has been interested ever since Aki arrives from the house uninvited with 2 plus live together. Although a vampire, Sophie never attacks humans but purchases blood and anime goods via mail and lives a modern life. So this just seems like a funny like they're vampires, but it doesn't really mean anything probably. It's just that she sucks blood every so often. I don't know, this might be like a cute comedy slice of life that I would want to watch every so often. Next one is Ingress the Animation. So it's based off of a game, which I'm always iffy about when it's based off of a game. But the synopsis seemed really interesting. Since he was little, Makoto had a strange power which enabled him to read the memories of objects he's touched. Hiding his uncontrollable powers, he works as a special agent in the police force. One day, while investigating an explosion at a laboratory that researches an unknown substance called XM, he sees a mysterious memory. The memory was from Sada's ring, who was the sole survivor of the accident. It was a sight of a person being swallowed into the red light and disappearing. And then Makoto becomes embroiled in a massive conspiracy, the battle for XM, a material that could affect humans' mind starts now. So this seems like also maybe a psychological anime, but yeah, this one seems interesting. Even if it's based off a game, always a lot of times when it's based off a game, I'm very iffy. But this one's synopsis and story seems pretty cool, and the poster looks really nice actually too. This is from Trigger, SSSS.Gridman. I mean, everyone's been loving stuff from Trigger. Whenever Trigger makes a series, I always try to watch it because Trigger always does really good stuff. But the synopsis is Yuta happily awakens from amnesia and his ability to see things that others cannot. He first encounters a Gridman in a reflection of his friends Rika, Takara, the computers, and it tells him to remember his calling. And then blah 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 blah. Later in the distance, it's only when Yuta goes to school he sees other sightings. He saw his computer screen, puts him in the computer transformation, because a giant hero named Gridman. So it seems like it's gonna be like a mechie series. Can't be honest, I haven't read the synopsis yet. I was just skimming through it, but it seems interesting. I just clicked on I want to watch it because it's from Trigger. But I mean, it's from Trigger, so it's hopefully gonna be really good. Most of the times they have a good history of doing good stuff. Rewind Toki Goi no Derira. And then the year is 2050. Young engineer named Denkari became famous thanks to his contribution to the development of the Artemis Machines DZ, a rebuild of manufacturing company founded by his father. One day, Derita and his colleague Nathan discovers the flaws in the DZs and tries to warn the boss, but are ignored. Although Derita and Nathan are aware of the dangers, they actually decide to put off any measures and instead go to Nathan's daughter Mage's birthday party the next day. After enjoying peaceful days, Derita and Nathan are suddenly attacked by unknown forces, and at the end of the escape, Derita falls into a cold sleep machine, and 10 years later he wakes up in a devastated world in the middle of the war. I'm sorry, I can't read. I'm very tired in the morning. But Derita is attacked. Oh my god, this synopsis is so long. Attacked by a group of out of control disease. He almost gives up, but he recalls Nathan's last word: "Take care of Mage." So this seems like a post-apocalyptic series, fighting against robots. Yeah, I wanted to watch this because it seemed interesting, and the poster looks great too. This one, it doesn't have a synopsis, but I can just already tell that it's an action fantasy, and magic just seems generic, so no. This one was Release the Spice. Why did I skip this one? However, establish the peace in the city. I just think it was just like, it seemed like another series that was like cute girls or cute anime girls doing like really action-y stuff, and I feel like the action's it's gonna be pretty subpar and all sorts of other things. Next one is Uchi no Maid ga Uzazukuru. Having lost a mother at the age of 10, second by her fathers. Oh yes, this is gonna be a comedy series. I might watch the first episode. This is why it's maybe, but yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's gonna be funny in a sense. Like the poster already seems like it's gonna be fun. The next one is I'm kind of really excited about because it's done by KyoAni, which is it is a drama. It's school sports series based off of a light novel. Tsurune Kazeyama Kyoko Kyuudou-bu. So the archery youth club follows Matsuto Nayumiya. Minato played Japanese archery in middle school, but after a sudden incident, he ran away from the sport in high school. Minato meets new friends, and together as part of their school archery club, they aim to win the perpetual tournament. So I'm just excited because it's done by Kyuudou-bu Animation, and almost anything I've seen from Kyuudou Animation is amazing, so this seems really cool. And it's a sports series about archery, which is something new. I haven't seen a sports series about archery, so this piqued my interest for sure. Next one is Karakyuki Circus, and then this seems like a really interesting fantasy shonen series where it's like a boy who I believe lost his parents. He's rich, and then people are after him because he's rich. But then two people out of nowhere, a man named Naomi Kato who studied kung fu and has a weird illness called Zangpara syndrome, and there's also a silver hair woman with a puppet who protects him. So yeah, I think it's like gonna be really cool. I feel like it's gonna maybe be an episodic series of how the synopsis seems like, where it's like different challenges every so often. The next one is Zombieland Saga. I mean, the only reason I'm watching this is because it's an action, horror, and supernatural, and it's done by Studio Mappa, so hopefully they do a good job. Kensu Shoujo, and then the only reason I gave this a maybe is the very last paragraph is that it's high school girls and they're part of a radio club or something like that. And then the final thing in the synopsis says that the ritual is considered just an urban legend. However, several conditions confidentially falling into places, it stops being fun and games. And then it gives us a bit of mystery and maybe like, ooh, what will happen? So maybe I'll watch the first episode of this series because of just that part of the synopsis. Next one is... why did I skip this one? Oh, it just seems like really stupid. Oh, it's also based off a game from Capcom, so... yeah. This one's the second season of a series. Haven't seen the first season, so yeah. This one I'm actually really excited about. It's also another sports series. It's a seinen and a drama, and it's Kaze ga Tsuyoko Fuiteru. So it is a running or track sports series. It's based off of a novel, which makes it more interesting, maybe a lot more drama based because it's based off of a novel, a lot more serious on the story. And in Tokyo, one of the biggest university marathon relay races in Japan is held every January 2nd to 3rd and goes between Tokyo and Hokkaido and back for the total one of nearly 217.9 kilometers. So this seems like a really interesting running anime, and it's done by Production ING, and they've done so many cool sports series like the Ballroom series, and of course Haikyuu. So I mean, like, Production ING doesn't really do long that often, so this is why I really want to try to give this show a shot. This one has no synopsis, but it seems like a super generic fantasy series. Superpower series. It just seems super generic. This one too, it just seems super fucking generic, and it's based off of a game. Should I really care for it? Probably not. Next one is a martial arts shonen sports series. So it's a sports series, which I'm always interested in. Where it's like about like, it's one of those plots where it's like the protagonist is like the smaller one, but he has all that power and all that stuff. But I'll give it a first episode watch because I do like sports series, and the poster seems already interesting enough. The next one seems like an interesting comedy where it's Jingai Sai no Yome. And it's a comedy / life. It's a short form anime, so I can just watch it whenever I want and get done with it really quickly. Okay, so the synopsis is basically this guy has a wife that is this mysterious thing right here, which looks really cute. So you know, it's just the story of that life, which seems interesting. The next one is an adventure space series. It's based out of a game, but it's from TMS Entertainment. It is a fishing series where there were space aquariums in space, and then the space fishermen and all. It's like, seems so absurd, but it seems interestingly funny to watch. Maybe. I don't know. I might give it a first episode watch. This one is a BL series, not really interested in it. Not that I have anything against it, it just seems like, I don't know, a somewhat generic story. This one's based off a game and it's an action sci-fi, seems pretty generic. This one's just a hentai. So no. Hitomi House, it's another short form anime. Three sisters, and then the girls live their daily lives living in futures. Popular series. Oh yeah, it was the mysterious secret powers that got me interested in maybe watching this. This one just seemed so interesting looking from just the poster, and saying it's just a comedy, that I'll maybe give it one episode and see how it is. So it's just a comedy, as you can see. where it's a skeleton working a bookstore. So yeah. Next one just seems like a stupid series. I don't know. I mean, like, look at this poster. It's so extra. It just seems so stupid. Next one is stupid. I mean, like, I think it's a cheerleading anime. I forgot to do anything correct, but it's a cheerleading anime where I think it's just girls in high school, middle school and high school. Yeah, interested in cheerleading. Yep. This one, it has no synopsis, but I really like the look of the poster, so I looked it up, and it is the main plot of this one is that it is a story revolving on the romance of I believe a middle schooler, a high schooler, someone in college, and then someone who's working. So I think it's going through the romance of this one girl's whole life from middle school, high school, college, and then being in the workforce. So this seems like a really interesting romance series where it's like we're seeing this character grow up and, you know, expand so many different versions of romance, and that just seems so interesting to me, and I'm wondering why it's so low on the popularity scale. Maybe it's because it just doesn't have a synopsis, but I read the synopsis on Mal and it seems super interesting. But that is basically it. Everything else just like, I read everything else from here and I didn't want to like I could be doing this like all the time, but I just didn't want to do it. It just seemed like so excessive. It's like everything here just doesn't look interesting to me. So that is all I have for today. Hopefully you saw a lot of series that maybe piqued your interest. Hopefully you think that I'm wrong, and maybe you can comment down why I'm wrong about it. But yeah, that's all I have for today, and I'll see you all in the next video.